Hi, this is Jason Tucker, and this is a Gadgematic review of the turbo.264 HD encoder card for the Mac. Let's take a look at this guy and see what all it can do. So we're looking at the turbo.264 HD card. You can see it here. It's a really small USB card. It's super simple to use. It works with the pretty much any file format, and it outputs to .264. So if you're used to like H.264, X.264, those sorts of things, this is the card for you. What this does is it turbocharges the encoding of video. It works really well in the box. Very, very simple setup here. You can see it works with various cameras and that sort of thing. Inside the box, very simple setup. There's absolutely there's that and a disc, and you don't even need the disc. Go on the website, download the latest and greatest version of the software, and you're good to go. This does work on the Mountain Lion now. It wasn't working before on Mountain Lion, but they've done an update to their software, so it does work with it. Let's take a look at the software and see how all that works. So here is the software. It's called the Elgato turbo.264 HD, and I have some video files over here that I've been playing around with. Now, when I'm encoding this without using the card, I've seen the processor go pretty high. You can see I'm using Blinks TV right here. This is the software I'm using to record this session. Without Blinks TV, you can, it's quite a bit less in terms of the amount of CPU cycles that's being used. But even with it and with the machine that I'm using here, it works out pretty well. So let's go ahead and encode one of these videos, and you can kind of see what happens here. I have an MTS file, which is, if I remember correctly, it's using the AVC HD format. I drag that over here and here, and you can see one of the video itself that I'm going to be encoding. Now we're going to go and encode this thing. There's a bunch of different formats here that you can do. You can set up your own. I've kind of made a few different ones here. But what happens is I'll go and hit start, and it's going to run through, and you can watch the CPU cycles and what's actually happening here while it's encoding. So here's the turbo.264 HD doing the encoding. When I was doing an encoding without it, it was running up to about 600%, 500% CPU. Right now it's only using 183%, where Blinks TV is using 118%. So you can see that it's encoding this. On the device itself, if we switch over there, you can see that we switch over to the device. You can see how the light turns on it. That's the indicator letting you know that it's actually using the encoding there. We'll switch back over to our encoding session. And you can see that this particular file, if we go and look at the file size for it, this particular file is actually 2 gigs, and doesn't say how long it is. If I remember correctly, it's a 30-minute video, 45-minute video. Yeah, 37-minute video. So this 37-minute video is going to take 37 minutes to encode, but I can still use my computer since it's only using 180K or 180% of the processor. So let's stop this real quick. I'm going to yank the Elgato Turbo out real quick. And we'll most likely have to close out this application and open it back up again. So we got the app back up and running. You can now see that turbo mode is now turned off. and we're going to watch and see how much my machine struggles to encode this guy. So same exact settings, nothing different. I'm going to hit start, and we're going to watch and see how the encoding process happens here and what the big difference is between the two. You can see down here in the CPU, it's quite a bit different. Even here, 400 and something %. And that's using the software-based encoding, where before it was using the hardware-based. That's quite a bit different. You might not be able to hear it, but my machine's actually humming quite a bit here. I know I'm encoding two different things at the same time, doing Blinks TV as well as this, but you can see how it's using up about 400% of the CPU there. So let's stop the video real quick, and we'll do one more with the encoder card enabled just to make sure that what we're doing here is true. So here's our encoder software again. We're going to go and drop one of these videos in. We're going to tell it to encode. And you can watch the difference here between the two. So now it's only using 154%. And I got 35 minutes remaining. So this device is $99. I have found it on eBay and on Amazon for a bit cheaper, but it definitely can take care of any of your encoding needs. It also works with third-party software, and there's quite a few different third-party software that will use the Elgato Turbo. So anyhow, this is Jason Tucker. I want to say thank you very much for checking out my review of this. For $100, this thing can't be beat. It works great. I'm going to be using it for all of my video recording sessions and everything with it. For as small as it is and for as easy it is to work with, it's great. I really wish it worked with more software out there. But for the software that it comes with, the Elgato Turbo software, as well as Blinks TV works with it. There's a few other ones that work with it as well. I think it's a great deal for $100. Anyhow, this is Jason Tucker, Gadgematic.com. Thank you very much for stopping by.